Absentee voting starts now in another key battleground state, Michigan. Voters there can pick up those ballots in person, fill them out, and hand them in today if they want. NBC News Now correspondent Dasha Burns is in Kent County, Michigan. It's a place we've been visiting pretty regularly as part of our County to County series. Dasha, looks pretty busy back there. A lot going on behind you. Take us through the process that's happening.
Yeah, a busy day here at the Byron Township Clerk's office. Now, look, if voters want to get their ballot in person today, their absentee ballot, this is the sample one I'm holding here, they can come by to their local clerk's office, pick one up. If they want to, they can even fill it out and hand it right back here. They can also fill out a ballot application if they want. They just need to bring their ID. But the big push today for clerks all across this county and the state is to get these mail-in ballots out to voters today. The first big batch is going out. There's a truck waiting outside right now, actually, to take these over to the mailing facility. And behind me here, there's this wonderful Henry Ford-style assembly line of election workers hustling to get these things put together for voters. And I'm going to give you a little peek inside the process here. I'll have these folks walk us through what they're doing. We'll start with Dakota. Dakota, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm taking the voter address label and matching the ballot number and the address label to the envelope as well as their application.
And Cheryl.
And I'm taking the ballot and matching the numbers to the envelope.
Teresa.
I'm triple checking that the number on the ballot matches the number on the envelope, and then including the instructions inside the security sleeve.
And Peggy, who is our wonderful clerk here.
Well, I am going to put the secrecy sleeve that's holding the ballot into the envelope and also verifying that the numbers all match with everything.
And Sharon.
And I'm taking the ballot, putting it in the outside envelope and passing it on.
And Jay.
I'm just taking a look and making sure that the mailing address is facing out correctly in the window, and then just taking one last look at the numbers to verify that everything's correct. Then sealing it and putting it in the containers.
And Allison, all those go get stacked up here. There's about 4,000 ballots here that are headed off to the mailing facility in just the next 10, 15 minutes or so.
Dasha, I know those guys are working really hard and moving as quickly as possible, but wow, what a process just to get a single ballot together to be sent out. I know no excuse absentee voting is new to Michigan. What kind of challenges is that bringing?
I mean, as you can see, the volume, the sheer volume is a challenge in and of itself.
Yeah.
This is totally unprecedented. And you saw how manual this process is. There are no machines involved here. It is all people. But on top of that, because no reason absentee voting is still new to Michigan, there are a lot of inexperienced absentee voters that are making a lot of calls, sending a lot of emails to clerks' offices across the county and across the state, asking a lot of questions. And here's a little bit of what we heard from Peggy here, who is the clerk at the Byron Township, about what she's hearing from voters. Take a listen.
When they heard ballots were here, then their people are asking when is their ballot going out, and they're trying to remember if they even requested a ballot. So we're looking at those. Yep, you did request a ballot. You're all set. You'll be fine. Your ballot's going out. So it's more just maintenance right now, I would say. So there's a lot of things that people don't understand, and every time we go through it, we try to say, now tell your neighbors, tell your friends, explain this to them so that they'll know what's going on.
And Allison, we actually have a gentleman here from the mailing facility right now picking up these ballots. So on top of the volume, these clerks are also taking a lot of calls. So it just means a whole lot more work. They're recruiting friends, parents, family members to try and help out with this, the manual labor that goes into this whole process, Allison.
Dasha, President Trump called mail-in voting a, quote, horror show this morning. What are election officials there doing to make sure that is not the case? I mean, it sure seems like folks there are being pretty careful, and there are a lot of eyes on every ballot.
Yeah, exactly, Allison. It's actually really tough for these election workers to hear things like that because it means they're getting more calls from voters who are concerned about the safety and security of the process. And as you saw when we walked through this process here, there are multiple, like 3 or 4 parts of this process where they are triple checking, looking at the numbers, making sure everything matches. The diligence and the organization is incredibly impressive, and they're very proud of that. And it does mean that the process takes a little while. So it might mean We need some patience, particularly when it comes to November. But what I'm hearing from clerks across the county here is that they are not going to sacrifice safety and security for speed. Allison.
All right, Dasha, thanks so much. And thanks to everyone there. We were also impressed. You know everybody's name. I couldn't remember them all. I did remember Jay at the end, but our thanks to them for letting us come and see how this all works today.
Well, these folks are all rock stars. And one last thing I should mention, Allison, actually behind them when it comes to safety, there's a bunch of hand sanitizer, there's PPE. They're getting that ready for in-person voting on Election Day as well. So they're thinking about safety and security for in-person voting on top of what they're doing with absentee.
Seems like they are doing the best they can to take all the precautions. Dasha, great to see you guys. Thank you. Be sure you know how to vote in the 2020 presidential election. NBC News can help. We have a state-by-state guide that's called Plan Your Vote. It has information on voting rules, deadlines, restrictions, all by state. You can check it out at nbcnews.com/planyourvote.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.